Cous Cous take 5. Cooking therapy does not always have to be these big, elaborate gourmet meals. I'm here to tell you that it can be very simple dishes that you can make and still involve yourself in the process of cooking therapy. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad that you joined us today. I want to show you one of my favorite simple recipes that I love to make in the summertime because it's so easy and it involves like zero cooking, and it still allows me to involve myself in the process of cooking without going overboard and doing some big huge meal. And that's my famous couscous and zucchini. You're going to be amazed when I show you how simple this is. So here's what I have here is 1 cup of already cooked couscous. What I did before I joined you today is I actually boiled this already. I boiled 2 1/4 cups of water with 1 cup of couscous and boiled it for about, I don't know, 10 to 12 minutes until it was nice and fluffy. I also added a little 1/4 teaspoon of olive oil and 2 cloves of mashed garlic, popped it all in there and boiled it away, and now I have my beautiful couscous. I also added some Italian flat leaf parsley into my couscous. Just rip it right off and put it right in. I don't know, I like maybe a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. This recipe is one that I stole from a grocery store in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I don't really have the exact recipe. I just go with what tastes good to me. So I like flat leaf parsley. I think it adds a nice burst of freshness. So I like to add more, but if you want to add less, that's fine too. Just be sure to add it in here when it's still a little bit warm so that the parsley will kind of steam a little bit. It's going to be really good. So that's what I've got here, as you can see. Okay, and then also what I did is you add your zucchini and your summer squash. So I like to use a 1/2 of a large zucchini, and then I use 1 medium-sized summer squash. And this is really simple. All I did was I sliced it very thin, maybe, let's see, a quarter of an inch, real thin slices, just like this. And then what you're gonna do is once you've sliced them all up, just like this, you're gonna cut them right in half and make little mini moons. That's the kind of shape we're going for. And do that same with the squash. You know, it's funny, when we stole this recipe from this grocery store, it was this little gourmet grocery store in Charlottesville. I love going in there. My husband and I would go there all the time. We just kind of swoon over all the food because it's so amazing. And they had this, you know, this salad in their prepared food section. And I was like, oh my goodness, we need to try it. And it was so good. And I asked for the recipe, but of course they wouldn't give it to us. So I just kind of came home one day and I recreated it. And that's what I love about cooking and about being able to share this with you, is that any recipe, it can be cooking therapy. We're not making elaborate standing rib roasts here. You know, we're just making this fun, simple dishes that are just going to allow you to connect and have fun and relax. That's what all of this is about. Okay, so once you slice up all of your zucchini, you're going to saute it over medium-high heat on your stove for about 6 to 7 minutes until it's nice and tender. Now you want to be sure not to overcook it. I don't know if you've ever had overcooked summer squash, but it turns into complete mush and it's gross. So I always do it for about 6 minutes, but just make sure you watch it real good. Give it a couple stirs so it doesn't stick to the pan and doesn't overcook. So I have here my sauteed zucchini and summer squash, and I'm just going to add it in here to my couscous, just like this. Again, it's like barely cooking. Seems like I'm cheating by even telling you this recipe because it's so simple. So then you're just going to mix it all up just like this. And for a little good measure, I'm going to add some salt. I like 1/4 teaspoon of salt just to give it a little bit of flavor. Sprinkle it right in. And that's all there is to it. See how simple this was? So in total, this recipe probably takes about 20 to 25 minutes. And that's it. And then all you're gonna do is I like to put a little saran wrap over it and then pop it in the fridge and cool it down. You know, what's so great about this is it keeps overnight really, really well, and it actually tastes better the next day than it did the first day. So you can make this on a Sunday or a Monday and enjoy it for lunch all week long. It's really, really easy, and I hope that you give this recipe a try, and make sure to try cooking therapy. Don't be intimidated. It's very easy to do, and I know you're gonna love it. So make this recipe and let me know how it turns out. Thanks. Cut.